Good morning, gang. Welcome to this episode of the Velocio GrillMasters series. Not sure how I got volunteered to do this, but actually I guess I am, because as I've been the camp cook at many a fishing expedition, you make the fat guy in charge of the food and nobody goes hungry. So I guess we'll take that. So you're here at my house. It's a beautiful, gorgeous Ohio morning, and I'm out here with my trusty pit boss. When you usually smoke, you smoke a whole bunch of meat at once. And it doesn't have to be meat. It can be meat. It can be vegetables. It can be whatever you want. And I'll tell you, Brussels sprouts in the smoker rock. We'll do that in the next episode. You tend to smoke a whole bunch of meat at once, and that leaves you with leftovers. Well, what do you do with the leftovers? That's what we're going to talk about this morning. We are going to make leftover smoker hash. All you need is your trusty cast iron skillet, and I've got mine inside. You can see that I'm getting it heated up already. All the stuff that you're going to need you can find locally. You need potatoes, because every hash has to have potatoes. I use a combination of reds and medleys that have little ones and big ones. My kids used to call these the baby taters. So I love the baby taters in hash. Grab some mushrooms, grab some, in this case I got some beautiful green onions from the local farmer's market, so we'll grab 4 or 5 of those. You'll need a few spices. I have the meat we're going to use in this spiced well already, so I'm not going to use too many spices. I am going to add a bit of garlic, some salt and pepper, and some cumin just to kick it up a little bit. Leftover smoker hash is pretty easy. Prepare your green onions. You know how to prepare a green onion, so just go ahead and prepare your green onions. You want to make sure to use as much of the green as you can, because that's where a lot of your flavor is, up in the chive area, so use as much of that as possible. So once you've got your green onions done, do the same thing to your potatoes and your mushrooms. Just dice them to whatever you think they need to be. There are no rules. However you like them is how you like them. So now it's time to consider the proteins. That's the fun part of smoking. You end up with a lot of leftovers. So in this case, I've got the remnants of a beef tenderloin that we smoked earlier in the week. You can see the gorgeous smoke ring on the outside. It's still got the crust and the bark on the outside. There's a ton of flavor in this little guy here. And I've got leftovers of a chuck roast that we made into pulled beef that we actually cooked like a brisket. Take a cheap cut of meat, cook it like a brisket, and it tastes like brisket, but instead of an $80 cut, it's a $10 cut. So we're going to mix the both of these into our hash. Again, cube it up however you like and chuck it in the cast iron skillet. I don't know that there's any real order in how you want to add your ingredients, but I like to put the meat in last only because it's already been cooked, so there's no reason to fully cook it. All you're really doing is reheating the meat, and I don't want to dry it out. So I'll let everything else get a little bit going before I put the meat in, because all I'm trying to do is get the meat hot again, get everything else cooked, get it all mixed up, and then we're going to be in. You'll also notice I don't have 150 tools. If you're out at a fishing camp, you usually have 2 tools. It's a spoon, maybe a set of tongs, and a knife. Make everything work with the knife and you're good to go. We'll get her set up, we'll get this started, I'll get some spices added to it, and then we'll check back in a minute. It's been about 15 minutes since we checked it last. I think our hash is done and I'm ready for breakfast, so let's see what we have. Go in here and grab this. Oh yeah, it's hot. And the smoke will burn your eyes and all those fun things. Oh, now we're cooking. That is exactly what we're after. Take a look at this. Some of our potatoes are a little charred. I like charred potatoes. It is certainly super hot. We've got the meat warm. Got it all mixed up. I got to tell you, it smells darn good. And I will tell you in a few minutes just exactly how good it tastes. That's your breakfast hash on the smoker. Now back to you.